The call came on a Tuesday afternoon, just as I pulled into the driveway. "Is this Daniel Brooks?" The voice was older, raspy. I almost hung up. Then he said the words that stopped me cold. "There's a camera in your living room ceiling. I forgot to disconnect it from the cloud before the sale. It's been recording." My chest went tight. I sat in that car for what felt like a long time, staring at the porch Claire had strung with lights, listening to her laughter leak through the walls as she and her mother and sister unpacked more boxes inside. The house looked exactly like a life beginning. I walked in, kissed her cheek, told her I needed to grab a few things from the store. I drove 20 minutes to a faded bungalow tucked behind a gas station. The man who answered the door had trembling hands. "I didn't mean to get involved," he said, "but I lived in that house 30 years. It deserved better than what I saw." He opened his laptop without ceremony, clicked play, the living room, my living room. Tuesday. I'd been at work until 7 that day. Claire walked in, her mother, then Jenna. They opened wine. Then Claire dropped onto the couch and said it like it was nothing. "I can't believe he fell for it." Her mother laughed. "You did the hard part, sweetheart. Now we just keep him busy at work while we finalize the switch." Claire pulled out a folder. "Power of attorney papers. You said he'd never notice. You were right, Mom." I stared at the screen until the words stopped meaning anything. Then they started meaning everything at once. This wasn't carelessness. This wasn't a bad marriage drifting sideways. They had planned it, scheduled it, and I was funding the whole operation. I stood up slowly. "Send me everything," I said. Every second. Because now I had a plan, and I would not be the fool again. I drove home and walked through the door like nothing had happened. Claire kissed my cheek, asked if I got milk. Jenna was organizing the garage. Her mother was baking something for the neighbors. The whole performance was running clean. I watched them. Every laugh, every touch, every sweet word, all of it poisoned now. I smiled back, nodded, played my part. Because what they didn't know was that I had the footage. I had the proof. And I wasn't going to move until I had more. Over the next few days, I played exhausted and distracted. I planted microphones in the kitchen, the hallway, under the dining table, wired a backup feed into the router, upgraded the cloud storage silently. They were too confident to check. That's when the real conversation started coming through. Jenna: "You sure he won't contest it?" Claire: "He's pathetic. 3 more weeks. Once the funds move, he's useless." Her mother: "Then we cut him off clean. Tell him we need space and sell the house." My house. That night in the garage, fists clenched over a glowing laptop screen, I felt something shift inside me. Not grief, not rage, something colder and more useful than either. I opened a blank spreadsheet. Step 1, private attorney. Step 2, pull every asset quietly back into my name. Step 3, give them the performance of a lifetime. Harold Maddox worked in a quiet building on the edge of town. No flashy suits, no small talk, just sharp eyes and airtight paperwork. I told him enough to get moving. I'd like to quietly revoke the power of attorney I signed 3 months ago. He frowned. Revocation without notice could raise suspicion. I'm counting on that. We filed the same day. By Friday, every major asset had been redirected. Bank accounts, brokerage accounts, the deed to the house. All Claire and her family were circling now were empty shells. Then came the bait. I walked into the living room that weekend with a wide smile. Guess what? I just got a raise. Big one. Her eyes lit up. Jenna clapped. Her mother said she always knew I had it in me. I leaned all the way in. Fancy dinners, a new suit, a thank you bracelet for Claire. They thought their plan still had weeks of runway. They thought they were untouchable. What they didn't know was that I already owned the stage. They were just reading lines in a play I was directing. 2 days before the switch, I heard Claire in the backyard, phone pressed to her ear. He's completely in the dark. I've got the forged signature prepped. His name will be off the deed before he blinks. I stood at the window, coffee in hand, watching her like she was rehearsing a scene. Her whole life with me had been a long con, and she was proud of it. That night I emailed Harold a full packet, cloud footage, voice recordings, the updated power of attorney, and the forged signature Claire had been practicing when she thought no one was watching. Prepare the final package. Emergency legal motion. Everything ready by Tuesday. His reply was one line. It'll be beautiful. I invited them all to dinner Sunday night. Celebration, I said. The bonus came through. They bought it, hook, line, and greed. I grilled steaks, bought wine, even wore the bracelet Claire gave me 6 months ago. They joked, toasted, laughed at something Jenna said about Claire being the future real owner of this home. I raised my glass too. Let's do this again Tuesday. I'll have something special for you then. They cheered. They had no idea. Tuesday morning I wore a plain gray shirt. No watch, no cologne. Just calm. Claire came down in red. Jenna was already pouring mimosas. Her mother was on the phone telling someone this was the last week in someone else's house. At 9 o'clock sharp, the doorbell rang. Claire looked confused. I opened it. Harold stepped inside carrying a thick manila folder. Behind him, a court officer. Ready? Harold asked. I turned to the three of them. Take a seat. You'll want to hear this, Claire scoffed. The court officer unfolded the document. Claire Whitman, you are being served a cease and desist related to attempted property fraud and signature forgery. Additionally, Mr. Brooks has filed for an immediate asset freeze on all joint accounts pending fraud investigation. Jenna shot to her feet. Her mother screamed something about rights. Claire's face went gray. I stepped forward. While you were planning how to cut me out, I took back everything. The house, mine. The accounts, mine. The bracelet on your wrist, bought with my card. I'll be taking that too. I set a USB drive on the table. This contains every conversation, every recording. Copies are already secured with my attorney, and a cloud backup is live. Any retaliation? It goes public. The room went completely silent. Claire's voice finally came, small and cracked. You're insane. No, I said. I was naive. There's a difference, but I see everything clearly now. I told them to pack. They had until sunset. This is our home, her mother said. It's mine. The mortgage, the title, the utilities, every account, all back in my name. Your names aren't on anything. You gambled everything on a forged signature, and you lost. I walked past them and up the stairs. For once, silence followed me. By sunset, their suitcases sat piled on the curb. Claire was the last one out, mascara running, still trying to understand how everything had slipped through her fingers so cleanly. I wasn't watching from the window. I was already across town in a glass high-rise boardroom, sliding the last file across a table to a partner at Wilkins & Rowe, the prestigious firm Claire had spent years dreaming of joining. Forged legal documents. Recorded. Conversations used in an extortion attempt. Manipulation of business assets. The partner exhaled slowly. She'll never practice law again. I shook his hand. That's the point. By midnight, her license had been reported. Her internship offers gone. Her name flagged. Her LinkedIn buzzing with questions she had no answers to. I sent one message from a burner address. You built your life by lying to mine. Now build it again from nothing. Then I deleted the account and drove home. I sat on the porch with a glass of bourbon. Cold air, quiet street. The lights Claire had strung still running along the railing. I looked at them for a long time. Then I didn't think about her anymore. They thought they were smarter. Thought love meant I would stay quiet, stay blind, stay useful. I didn't just fight back. I won. And they never once saw it coming.